Now, I emphasize the picture, and you should draw yourself a better picture of this, and you should draw the same similar picture for several more sets of points so that you really reinforce this, because you've forgotten these formulas. You're not likely to forget this picture. You're not likely to forget how to use this picture, and it's just going to give you a much better understanding of what we're doing when we find midpoints or slopes or distances. Okay, well, still, formulas are good, so we can easily develop the formula. If the points are x1, y1, and x2, y2, then we can construct the triangle. And of course, we don't know where x1 is and where x2 is, but the run from x1, y1 to x2, y2 is going to be x2 minus x1. We're going to subtract the x coordinates to see what this side is. And the rise is going to be y2 minus y1. So that the distance is what? Square root of rise squared plus run squared, which is the square root of y2 minus y1, quantity squared, plus x2 minus x1, that quantity squared. So there's your distance formula. It's simple. If you understand the picture, you can always write down the distance formula if you just remember to call your points x1, y1, and x2, y2. And you do want to remember that. What about the slope? Okay, the slope is rise over run. That's the first thing you should think of when you hear the word slope, not a formula that you've already forgotten and will forget again if all you do is memorize the formula, apply it long enough to pass the test, etc., which is, of course, the way education is conducted in our secondary schools and, unfortunately, I'm afraid, most of our colleges and universities. In any case, slope is the rise divided by the run. And the rise, well, right there you have it, and here you have the run. So you put the rise here, you put the run here, and there's a formula for your slope. And a formula can be convenient as long as you understand what it means, where it comes from, and how to obtain it. And of course, there are formulas you don't know how to get, and you do need to kind of memorize those. But this is not one of those cases. Okay, what about the midpoint? Well, what did we do over here? We averaged the two x coordinates to get the x coordinate of the midpoint. How do you average the two x coordinates? They're x1 and x2. You add them and divide by 2. And then to get the y coordinate, you average the two y coordinates and divide by 2. And I can indicate that on our picture here. Again, if you understand the picture and the procedure for figuring out the distance and the midpoint and the slope, all very simple. You just write down x1, y1, x2, y2, and you can just write these formulas down, and you never really have to memorize them. It doesn't hurt to memorize them also, but you have to know where they come from or you will forget them.